Namaskar. Today we will discuss pregnancy in its third trimester. Nothing comes easy in life. One has to work hard and pass through a period of struggle to achieve anything, be it money, fame, success, or even a child. A woman has to pass through 9 long months of pregnancy with all its pain and suffering to hold her baby in her arms. The picture of the stork carrying a child must have been the creation of the wistful thought of a woman in the last part of her pregnancy, the most uncomfortable phase.
The third trimester of pregnancy is the last 3 months of pregnancy, and this is the most uncomfortable because by now the baby has become big in size and therefore the uterus is big in size, and it starts displacing all the organs inside the abdominal cavity, and therefore it starts causing pressure symptoms. The patient finds it difficult to breathe. She gets out of breath soon after doing even a little bit of exertion, and she is unable to eat large meals at a time because she gets a sensation of fullness very quickly. Essentially, all these features are because of the uterus displacing everything else in the abdominal cavity and causing a lot of pressure symptoms. Later in the third trimester itself, as the head goes down into the pelvis, it exerts pressure on the bladder, and the patient becomes very uncomfortable because she has to repeatedly pass urine because she always has a sensation as if she must pass urine frequently. It is preferable or advisable during later pregnancy to lie on one's side rather than on one's back. The reason is that the uterus becomes very large at this time, and when the lady lies on her back, it falls back onto her spine. Therefore, it presses upon the large vessels, namely the aorta and the inferior vena cava, which supply blood to her entire body, including to the uterus. Now, if she lies on her side, the uterus falls away from these large vessels and doesn't press them, and therefore the blood supply to her entire body and to the uterus and thereby to the baby improves, and it is helpful to the baby's growth.
Matsya Kridasana, besides being a comfortable posture to rest in during pregnancy, also strengthens the lower back. It also relaxes the spinal nerves, including the sciatica nerve. One may, if necessary, place a pillow under the knee for added comfort. A few of the asanas must be continued in the third trimester. Together with the mantra meditation, it is important to focus on some positive quality.
All through the 9 months, the woman waits for this stage, and as it draws near, she is filled with anxiety as to what labor is really all about.
Labor is essentially the process by which the uterus starts undergoing contractions at term, and it expels out the baby through the vaginal route. So what happens is that with every successive contraction, the patient starts fearing the next contraction that is going to come on. As a result of this fear, she interprets the next contraction as even more painful, and so she gets into a vicious cycle which we call the fear syndrome, and in that it gets worse and worse till the patient is extremely exhausted, she's extremely frightened, and she wants to put an end to this labor as soon as possible. One of the positive ways of dealing with it is not to call labor pains, but to talk to the patient about them as uterine contractions, so that the negative word of pain is taken away altogether from the vocabulary at that point.
During the labor pain, even if you know that it is going to worsen if you get tense, you can't do anything. That's why we have this technique. When one gets the pain, the first sign, one has to lie down and do a long Yog Nidra for 20 minutes to half an hour, so that one feels absolutely relaxed. Then you maintain that state by doing japa. You keep doing your mantra, again aloud or whisper or in your mind, but do it for as long as you can, and that will maintain the relaxed state. When the pain comes in say 10 minutes interval, then one has to do the proper thing, that is one lies down in any comfortable pose, and you have to first do a little Yog Nidra and then the rest.
Lying down in a comfortable position, one focuses the mind on different parts of the body and relaxes them. Starting with the extremities on the right side, one relaxes the big toe, the second toe, the third toe, the fourth, and then the fifth, followed by the sole of the feet, the heel, the calf, the knee, the thigh, and the entire right side. The same pattern is then followed for the left side, then the back and front of the body. Once contractions start, one must practice abdominal breathing. When the pain peaks, one can practice bhastrika, which is like panting. After the pain recedes, the tension can be released by saying Ma. This should be practiced right through the pregnancy, so that it almost comes automatically during labor.
Do yogic exercises help in removing stretch marks after delivery?
I am afraid not after they are formed, but you can prevent them by applying oil. I mean, there is nothing to do with yoga though, but if one applies oil regularly, and if one keeps doing the asanas, then the stomach doesn't become too big, then there are not too many stretch marks, and with oil,
skin doesn't stretch too much.
No, then one need not have stretch marks. It's not necessary.
Well, you show us so many asanas during late pregnancy, and I wanted to know whether these asanas are practiced after the late 9 months.
Yes, even till the last stage you can do all these asanas. It's like, after all, pregnancy is not a disease.
Yeah.
It is a natural thing. So nature takes care of your body.
Yeah.
So walking and doing yogic asanas, they are all very natural. So you should do till the last day.
Can yoga really help in normal and painless deliveries?
Yes, normal definitely, if you have been doing yoga from before. And painless, I can't say one will have no pain at all, but
less painful.
Whether it will minimize the pain.
Yes, absolutely. So for that we have a doctor here who will tell you her own experience, who has done yoga with me.
Normally it takes about at least 8 to 10 hours for the first baby to come out if the mother is nulliparous. and the really severe pain is for about 5 to 6 hours at least, and I had just about 1.5 hours of very severe pain, which is remarkable for a first delivery. You know, usually you don't have this kind of time period seen, and I think yoga had a very major role to play in this. The second thing I feel is, of course, the severity of the pain was definitely less. Bhastrika had a role to play, I feel. And finally, and very, very importantly, is that, you know, this feeling that I was doing something very constructive and useful for myself and for my baby, you know, throughout the period of pregnancy and during labor. It's this feeling of control over something which is normally considered, you know, unpredictable, and it can lead to decrease of morale of the mother, which can be very bad psychologically. So this positive strength and morale goes a long way in making this entire experience a very positive one.
What should a pregnant girl do if her uterus is situated very low, and what precautions she should take?
Actually, there are 2 asanas which are very good for that, but it is better to do it in the first trimester. First to 3 months, it will be that is called Viprit Karani Mudra. It is an inverted asana where in inverted asana you have to do Shajoli. Shajoli means it is contracting the pelvic muscles. So you keep contracting and relaxing, so it strengthens the ligaments which hold the uterus. So that way the muscles also are strengthened and ligaments are strengthened, so uterus normally goes up a little.
So do not panic. You have nothing to fear. Do all as suggested and be relaxed on the D-Day.